have to connect the laptop to the
So you start,
camera.
when it's over, just close the door.
Once I get on to
Right, numbers.
Alright, I'm finally online, so
You don't have to do anything else, this is going. I'll come back if I think you can. Call or text me.
Okay.
Thanks for sending Scarlett everything. She just,
That's swimming down.
she's awesome.
I opened up the door.
Alright, you want me to stay in till you get all set up?
This is where I get stuck because, I can't set the video at the time. Alright, here we go. Yeah, it's that way.
This is a special membership for,
And then the audio.
Is there anyone who didn't vote for the members meeting? Anyone who didn't hand in their proxy from clusters? I already forget. 2, 3, 4, 6.
Do you have the only meeting?
oh, okay, that's what she said.
Online? I'm just trying to connect the mic, or to connect to audio.
Yeah, you're not, yeah, you don't have audio.
That's what I asked.
Is that on? I didn't turn it on.
Definitely have one. You got any extra paper, John? Any extra?
Hello?
Proxy.
Hello?
I need people to sign in.
What I'm saying is I can't, this is ready to go. Once I'm able to connect. There's no audio. I can't really hear us, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. What do you need something?
Things staring at me on the phone.
I can't connect the
Did
audio.
everybody turn in their proxies for clusters 2, 3,
What?
4, and 6? You have not?
They are muted.
I sent mine to Megan, I'm not sure.
We did get yours.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we got yours. So we don't have yours, sir?
Correct.
Okay, can everyone get it?
Pardon?
Can I?
He didn't bring the form, he thought he could get another.
Yeah.
We've got one. Anybody else need the proxy?
I think I turned mine on.
You need one. Oh, you don't need to, you just need to log in.
Normally when I do this, I get it right.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to go on mute, you're on mute.
Yeah, I am.
Down at the bottom, your audio, which one?
Yeah, and I'm hooked to this.
That's for,
She's
go
in
back
cluster
to
6.
Okay, that's her speaker.
Yeah.
You're on the top, and then,
No.
for the
No, that's
microphone.
Megan. Megan,
You're hooked up to it,
Same assistant.
you're muted.
Okay.
Cluster 2, Megan.
This is good.
So you should be
She's always,
Once you call someone, I guess that's when we'll know if
she's
it.
always.
It was working fine when I
They're all
did.
in here, they're in here. Dawn, ask Dawn or Roxy or somebody, can you unmute yourselves and tell us if you can hear us? Because I didn't mute everyone.
Yeah.
Now you can too, is this your machine?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can click on those dots and spotlight.
Spotlight for
Spotlight for
everyone?
everyone, and that'll be what.
Okay. There we go.
Was there plane, was the plane on time last
All
night?
right, go back to that Tom. Thanks.
What?
Alright.
Dawn, can you hear us? Can you unmute and let us know if it's working?
I can't hear you.
Can anyone hear us online?
Hey.
Hi, Hi, Robin, can you hear us?
Join the meeting.
Hi, Robin, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Robin, can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Okay, she can hear me on the phone.
All right, we'll try that one more time. Can someone say something online?
Somebody took my page, where is it? Here.
Says we're connected, that's what I'm saying, I don't. I mean, on my end, it says we're connected. I muted my laptop.
No, actually,
That thing's red, does that matter?
No, it's on, it means it's on.
yeah, it's on when, you turn the volume down on your
Yeah,
laptop.
I love this.
I
Yeah.
did, I just muted.
Yeah.
But I don't know can anyone hear us?
I can,
Well,
Do you think they just have to turn it down and not?
That's not muted, just my laptop. But it says it's on.
yeah. Well, we heard them through there. But for some reason, we're not hearing you. Well, last time we had to call in. Yeah.
Okay. The meeting will come to order. Our board secretary will announce that all members have been notified by mail.
oh, obviously.
And notice was properly posted on the condominium property in advance of the meeting.
Susan told me.
And determine if a quorum is present.
All right, let's go.
Where'd you get the tire? You have to be quiet.
22, cluster 2. There's a quorum for cluster 2, there's a quorum for cluster 3. Quorum for cluster 4 and quorum for cluster 6. Okay, so we have quorum for each one. 17, yeah. All right.
So, we do have a quorum. So, this, is the consideration of Article 15 of the Declaration for clusters 2, 3, 4, and 6 to be amended to add a provision prohibiting leasing of new owners' units for a period of 2 years after the new owner's deed is recorded, so upon a new sale only. And the results.
All right, so for cluster 2, the results were 15 yes and 7 no. You needed 23. So we're going to talk about that one in a minute. Cluster 3 was 17 yes and 2 no, so that one has passed. I need a motion to accept the results for cluster 3. Yeah. Can Robin hear me? It's got to be cluster 3 members.
Robin, can
Is
you
there
hear us?
anybody else here from cluster 3 that can make the motion? Anybody?
Robin, can you hear us? Yes, they can.
Do you want me to, hang on.
Just call it.
I sent you guys an email, right?
Yes, you did.
I'm gonna turn the mic off and just turn it on.
Howard off.
Hold on, USB speaker.
What time did I send it? Anybody know? Actually, I can just log back into this Zoom. Hang on.
I just restarted it. Can you guys hear now on the speaker?
You can.
Oh, now they
There
can.
we go.
All right.
Oh, they can? Okay, good. All right.
Robin, could you hear us when we were announcing the results for cluster 3?
No, I couldn't. We're in a bad thunderstorm up here, and my connection keeps going on and off.
Okay, so I'm gonna just repeat what Janet said. So for cluster 3, you had 19 respond, 17 were yes and 2 no, so it passed. We need a motion from you to accept the results.
Yes, I put a motion in to accept the results.
Okay, I need somebody to second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay, and that'll be recorded as 17 yes, 2 no.
Okay.
All right, cluster 4, which is Dawn, had 30 respond, 25 yes, 5 no. So we'll need a motion from Dawn to accept her results, and that will get recorded.
Dawn, can you hear us?
Motion.
Okay.
Do you have a second? Second? Congratulations.
All right. Now, let's get the count for cluster 6. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah, 3 before that.
13 yes, 4 no for cluster 6. Okay, so, for Megan and Fiona,
Wait, so how many for, so you said cluster 6, there were 17 who responded. How many yeses?
13 and 4.
13 yes, 4 no.
Okay, so when you do something with a proxy, the proxy is good for 90 days from the date of meeting. So if you guys want to reschedule the special membership meeting to allow yourself more time to do so, to collect the rest of the proxies and see if you can get it passed, you can do that up to 90 days out, but you have to pick your date and announce it tonight. Right.
And you said we need 25 for 2?
23.
23? And then how many for 6?
17.
But we have 13, yes.
Right, so you need 4 more, okay.
Yeah,
Four
you
more.
need 8 more.
You need 8 more.
4.
Okay,
If they want to extend it.
And you know what, it doesn't mean that people that might have voted no already, just one second. The people that have voted no already could change their minds, and unfortunately, the people who voted yes could also change their minds.
Yeah.
But it's still,
But we won't go near those.
gives you more, yeah, you don't go approach those people that voted, yeah.
Just do their.
I will tell you, I spoke to a couple people that indicated they were in a hard no, but they wanted to know what additional plans we might have in the future as it relates to our ability to rent, and I think it was a fair question. And so I do know there's some people that kind of want to see, like, if there's any plans to amend anything further down the road.
Yep.
But I think just kind of telling them that, you know, it's a possibility down the road is important for them to know, so.
So this is up to Fiona and Megan for picking the date and whether or not you want to extend it.
We're gonna do it at the next meeting,
Yeah,
which is a month from
yeah,
now.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the July 24th.
Or we have 90 days.
We have 90 days.
Yeah, should we do it the next meeting, Janet, or should we wait a couple months?
Well, you can only do it once. If you think you
That's what
can
I'm
get them
saying.
in the next 30, then,
Yeah. I think that, yes, I think July 24th is good.
Okay.
all right.
With that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Okay.
All right, so we'll reschedule. Okay, so then, one of you make a motion to, continue the meeting.
Yeah, make a motion to continue to extend it, yeah.
Okay. And Megan, you'll second, I take it?
I second.
Okay. And then, so I'll continue just those 2 clusters, the other 2 can go ahead and get reported because they did pass. Okay. All right, you want to answer any questions about that, and then we can close that meeting?
If you want help, if you give me a list.
Absolutely, yeah. Whatever, we'll have the updated list tonight, I know we had some last minute ones literally in the last hour, so we'll
Yeah.
be able to.
You're like 3 in the last hour.
Oh yeah, I went walking around because I left them at doors and I actually had a couple people.
Join the meeting.
Awesome.
Alright.
Good effort, everybody. All right. So, oh, yep.
Could you, I've been in Seattle for 6 weeks, so could you briefly explain the amendment?
Would you mind introducing yourself so we can meet you?
My name's Steve Ostheimer, Day Soleil Property, Unit 6332.
Okay. It's nice to meet you. Please in your cluster, so do you want to talk a little bit about what it is?
Sure. So, we've been discussing this, for the probably last year or so, but more importantly, the last several months. We have historically had issues with, various rules not being followed. Of course, we all know about the, increase in parking issues. So essentially, we sent a proxy out, requesting owners to vote for, an amendment to the current existing rules, which would basically put a moratorium on rentals to new owners only, so it wouldn't affect anyone that currently owns, to any future owner that they couldn't rent out for the first 2 years. And the purpose of that is to dissuade having too many property management companies owning in the entire cluster, because what it's created is an imbalance. So we have a large amount of annual renters in that cluster, and I think it's probably the number 1 out of all of the clusters, which again has created a lot of public nuisance, safety issues, parking issues. I forwarded, I don't know if you've had a chance to receive any of the emails, we've sent a lot of information about it. Laura wrote a great letter establishing a lot of the concerns as it relates to property values and overall amenities and our abilities and what we're stuck with as far as our budget and how our HOA is increased. Again, it's going to only kind of go up from here, and so it's really important to us to have owners that are invested in our community so that we can continue to increase our property values and don't see them decrease. That was a good explanation.
I have a question on that. The units 1 and 5 already have that.
Right.
Is that correct? Wouldn't it be good to hear their comments about how that has worked and how long have they had it?
Absolutely.
I can answer for
Yeah.
one. We've had it for probably, I'm gonna say maybe 6 years, that you're unable to rent in the first 2 years. It has made our cluster more of a owner occupied cluster. We rarely have issues where we have to call and have somebody's car towed. We rarely have issues where our residents are dumping large pieces of furniture at the trash dumpsters anonymously, so that the whole place has to pay the fee to have it hauled away. If they have something that needs to be removed, they're kind enough to tell us so that we can make the arrangements for them and charge them back. Otherwise, everybody at Pebble Springs pays the bill. And that is very unfair. We aren't 100% certain, but we do have a suspicion that there is, at the end of the month is generally when all these pieces of furniture or appliances show up at the dumpsters, when people move. And we don't have that often in Cluster 1. They don't do that. We don't have hardly any problems. Our residents understand. These are the rules. They follow the rules, and that's it. When you get renters in there, the renters don't have any skin in the game. They live there. If they trash the place, oh well, maybe they lose their deposit, they don't care. We have, what is it, Section 8?
We have Section 8 housing,
Yep, and that's
There's nothing we
really
can't do anything about that.
desirable.
Not that,
No,
there's.
we can't. There's nothing we can do about it other than when the person sells, if we can get this to pass, then the new buyer would not be able to rent for the first 2 years.
What if anything is negative about it?
I guess it depends on your perspective. we're trying to prevent a lot of conglomerates from buying up clusters at a time. Like there were at one time recently, I think it was 9 or 12 units for sale, most of them in cluster 1 or 2, cluster 2. If they came in, if a conglomerate came in and bought them all, which they could easily do, given the condition many of the rental units are in here now, cluster 2 would absolutely be a rat trap, no questions asked. The landlords are not present. They do not do anything to maintain, many of them do not do anything to maintain their property. I was in a unit the other day where, standing in this gentleman's bedroom in cluster 2, I could look at the back side of the stucco because there was no sheetrock, there was no vinyl or moisture barrier, there was no insulation, there was no plywood behind it. And I literally was looking at the back of the stucco. And then I noticed light shining through it. Not cool. Sorry, the place is gonna cave one of these days.
I live in-
All you said is nothing-
She's the director.
All you said is nothing negative at all about this.
I'm not
policy.
saying, I'm telling
What-
you,
are-
it's from a person's perspective.
Are you asking negative about implementing it or negative?
Yes, that's
Okay,
what
negative
they-
about implementing.
I'm asking about what she has. Is there anything negative about it?
Got it.
About having the room for not being able to.
Yes.
Since you passed
I'll
it.
be honest,
No.
in the time that I've lived here, which is basically 2 years, when we've had a unit go on the market, it has not sat there for a long period of time as a result of having this rule in place. We're just not seeing that. Cluster 5 has had, I think, 3 or 4 units go on the market basically this year, and they're not sitting there because they can't turn it into a rental unit. So we have not seen anything slow down a sale because of that purpose. And honestly, if somebody doesn't like that, they can purchase in one of the other clusters that may not have the rules. So we just haven't seen any drawbacks to having that in place.
I can comment on some of the negative experiences that we've had because there's so many renters. And again, Nancy was eloquent about saying it depends on what your perspective is, right? Because our perspective is valid.
She has some.
Yeah, so, but to give you an example, the vast majority, our rentals, because we have the 2-month and we can't do any shorter term than that, as most people know, that primarily targets the snowbird community, which is fine. Most the people that I've encountered, they expect and want a nice environment with nice amenities. They leave the place just as it was, or perhaps nicer than it was. However, annual renters, the going rate, and again, I don't want to quote, but looking at rentals, you know, in this area, in this cluster, in our cluster, the going rate is about $1,800 to $2,000, which is quite cheap. Most people pay more than that for a week to vacation in this area. And so what we're having is folks that otherwise couldn't afford to live here or to buy the property are able to rent it. And again, it's not their property, so they're not interested or invested in maintaining the property, improving the property. And then we have multiple people staying in dwellings. So if you think about it, a 2-bedroom condo historically may have a couple, or maybe a couple and a child, or depending whatever the cluster it is. But now we're seeing a lot of folks that are working at local fast food places and restaurants, and they get roommates, and next thing you know, you have 4 people in the condo. We see a lot of increase in water bills, increase of pool issues. The pool is chronically dirty now because of oils and things like that, because the pool has crowded. So that's just like a couple of examples, but we have had an increase in crime, an increase in neighbor complaints of various issues such as noise, dogs, car break-ins, not fixing things that should be fixed that are an eyesore. So hopefully that gives you a little bit. Again, I can use myself as an example. I'm not against renting in general. If we had different rules that would apply to my interests, I would be more, I would be interested. But I'm not interested. I'm personally not interested in renting out annually. But that doesn't mean that it's not okay for other people. It's just that we need to try to minimize it a little bit because it's essentially been overran in cluster 2.
Resale was the main thing.
We gotta cut this
Yeah,
out.
Yeah,
so anyway,
that's
that's
what
fine.
I'm gonna do.
So,
All right.
Does anyone else have any questions before we wrap?
Are there any other options for getting more visitor parking for cluster 2? We have over 30 units and we have 2 spots. Other people have 10 spots.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of I noticed a couple months ago, there were additional, I want to say 2 or 3 visitor spots along the fence. They're not an actual like parking spot, like it pulling in like they're used to, but they're on the side, like parallel parking.
Are those new?
They've been around for at least a couple months. I just know they kind of, somebody said something to me, I'm like, oh, and I looked out and sure enough, there was some
Cluster
visitor
6
ones.
designated some
Yeah.
for you.
But they're right up against the fence, like on the Beal side, there's a few visitor spots right there. And I'll tell you what, and I happen to live right back there, and they're not always filled, I mean, as far as like overnight, like I'll notice not all the time.
Yeah, but
There's
she's
some
saying
spots.
there's only 2 in our cluster is what she's saying.
But I think those are additional.
There are some in cluster 6 because cluster 6 gave up I don't remember how many of their
Well,
parking
yeah, but the
spots
rule is that you can park in any cluster,
Yeah.
so.
But that's
she's saying
another
any-
great example of the
any-
ongoing issue.
Yeah, but two spots per unit are for the unit owners.
Yeah.
So that, you guys just don't have the extra parking is what it was,
Yeah.
that's why cluster 6 gave some up.
But visitor parking across the property is open to any visitor.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of them, it's just, you
Yeah,
might
just-
have to walk.
And one more thing, the issue with the large furniture and stuff like that.
Can I ask you to just hang on to that till we get into the board meeting? Let's just close this
Yeah, we're gonna-
membership meeting for the proxy, go ahead.
All right, motion to adjourn the membership meeting.
Yeah,
Second. Okay, all right. All right, meeting adjourned, and now we move on to the board of directors meeting. Oh, okay. The meeting will come to order. Do we have a quorum, all of the board members are present? So
Yep.
Charlie's on. Okay.
Charlie's on.
Yeah, we're all here. All right, so motion to approve the board of directors meeting minutes from April 18, 2024, as previously presented.
Move to approve.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie. All right, so motion approved, the minutes are approved. Okay. First up is reports. I don't have them up. Is it okay? No? Any questions?
No, we can
We don't
skip
have it
down,
updated.
yeah.
Yay, okay. So unfinished business. So consideration of alternative lot to master pool and clubhouse area. So some of you recall from our last meeting that I presented an option for a company called Brevo and Red One to come in and put in smart security at the pool and clubhouse entry points, as well as security cameras on the property. I did seek additional bids. Those additional bids, one of them was almost twice as much as the original bid that we received, and the other one was about $10,000 more. Because of the issues that we have had chasing people out of the pool area, the board did an basically emergency adoption of the decision to move forward with Brevo. So installation is going to begin on July 23rd. What this means is I'm working on the newsletter right now. The clubhouse pool will be closed July 23rd, 24th, and 25th while they do their work in getting the property secured. This new system will rely on you having an app on your phone. So we will be working to get your information so we can get you access. It also allows us to capture the picture of the person who is supposed to be accessing the pool. The reason we are doing this is that we have had a very significant problem of people accessing the pool who do not live here. They may have lived here once upon a time, they may have given the code to a friend of theirs, and people show up and do their fun activities in the pool. We had a table broken out on the pool from some of it, we've had chairs broken. We're trying, Yeah, I actually came out one morning, because one of my jobs as the president is I lock and unlock the pool every single day. And it is so fun. I love that job. And about 3 weeks ago, I came out and I had the padlock in place. The gate was open and bent. So these people entered the code and tried to pry it open and squeeze through, and they actually did damage the gate. Thankfully, Abraham was on property and he was able to fix it, so we didn't have to have it completely replaced. But this is what we're dealing with. I'll be honest, it sounds kind of joking. I would love to install razor wire at the top of our pool just to keep them out. There was a day a couple weeks ago when Nancy was in the clubhouse with Abraham, and they watched a kid jump the fence into the pool, and the pool was locked. She went out and said, "Hey, where do you live?" And he tells her, "I don't have to answer that question." To which she informs him, "Yes, you do, because it's private property." So we are continuing our efforts here to make this a more secure area, because I will argue till I'm blue in the face that having that pool accessible to just about anybody is a significant problem for us and a potential liability. So we are moving forward with that. It will also control access to the front door of the clubhouse, the back door of the clubhouse, and the entry from the bathroom from the pool into the bathroom area. So 4 points of access will all be controlled through this new system. We will work with you to get this on your phone. I play tech support for a lot of people in Cluster 1. Norman Lois can attest to this because I do it a lot. And I'm happy to help anybody who may not be technically savvy. And I'm fine with that. Get this on your phone so you can obtain access to the pool area, to go to the library, whatever it is. I understand it's going to be a change for a lot of people, but we're doing it because we have to secure the property.
I just need a motion to
So-
ratify the decision.
I need a motion to ratify the decision from the board.
Just for the record, can we have the cost and the maintenance fee on that?
The initial cost, the initial cost was $13,786, and the monthly fee is around $400.
So 4,800?
Yeah. Yep, and this is, now I'm looking for it still. The fee, there's a fee for the number of apps, and it goes up by every 100 people licensing and using the apps. And it's sold in 500, or 100 and $500 unit increments. We're probably thinking 300 people. It also makes it easier as well because we have a lot of keys that people happen to have to various locations on the property they shouldn't have. So this will give us access for our landscapers, for our pool guys, to be able to easily get in and out without having to fight any of us. And if you want to know where we got the money for that, we got it from the signing bonus we received from Spectrum. When we updated and changed our plan with Spectrum, we got a fairly sizable signing bonus for them. So this money is not coming out of any HOA fees that you guys are paying, it's coming out of that. So,
I don't know, yeah, if the question's in order. Has there been any thought of looking at actually gating this place?
that is something we're looking at. We're trying to figure out the logistics of it. So there are some logistical issues on Manatee that we have to consider. But it is definitely on the table. So, barbed wire, what do we have to do? I don't know. So do I have a motion to ratify?
Are we allowed to ask questions? Or?
Well, you guys already kind of made the decision,
Yeah.
but you can, I mean, if you have one.
Okay. No, it's fine.
Okay. So do I have a
This
motion?
is,
Go ahead.
no, this is Dawn, this is motion.
Nancy made the motion, so I just need somebody to second.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Ms. Pro?
Aye.
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 I'm opposed of just telling that to be on the record.
Yep. everybody.
Since Dawn, I just wanted to let those on the call know that by that renegotiation of Spectrum, it actually saves us $2,850 a month as a whole,
Yeah.
which is about $16 a month per individual, just in case you were questioning. So it was a great job that Megan had done with that.
Yeah, that's something new.
How many do we have? Okay, that's,
Okay.
You want to know?
I mean, if we can't discuss it yet, not as is now, I don't.
Yeah.
All right, update on search for new association council.
We are in the process of trying to get a date when these folks can actually meet with us. We've got, one of our members left to go home for the summer. He'll actually be back, I think, part of July. So we will be talking with him further at that time and trying to get one of the candidates in here so that they, we can go through our list of questions, and find out how their thoughts and feelings on some of the things that we need to know before we choose one. And, one of our members is a full-time employee, so it's hard for her to be available during the day when the attorneys we need to speak with are available. So we're kind of asking them to meet with us in the evening, or her to take off and use her vacation, and so that's not easy either, but we will get there. And we have actually, I think it's 4 candidates from 4 different firms, and then we're gonna have them go through the bylaws of the condominium and kind of tell us what they think it says. Because we know that some of the stuff that we got from our current attorney does not agree with what other attorneys in the area say it says. So we're gonna try and nail it down a little bit and get an actual definition of what these things mean. Like, what does commingling mean? What if the plat shows one thing and somebody interprets it a different way? That's a big thing.
Can I interject some advice for the committee?
Sure.
You have a contracted attorney, and the statute as of July 1st makes it criminal to do a lot of things. One of them is to ignore the advice of your experts. So unless they will put an opinion in writing, if they're not charging you, ask, but if they won't put an opinion in writing free of charge for you, you can't use it.
Okay.
Until you sign on with them.
Until we hire them.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then you could.
Yep, okay. That's fine, we can certainly go down that road. But, we are looking at 4 different different firms. These are all local. And, one of them is a company that we have used in the past. Do you have a question I can see?
Yeah, I guess my question is, what's the rationale for changing to a new attorney? What's the board's feeling on that?
Can I interrupt you 1 second, Nancy? First, the board members. Do the board members have any questions before we go to the floor?
Okay, I'd like to have have we disassociated from our attorney completely now? Is that the
No.
situation? Just kind of explain.
No, we have not.
So what is the status of his work, or is it moving along at all, or has he delivered a report, or just kind of fill me in?
He's responding and doing everything that we ask him to do, except that large project. He has not corrected it, and he literally, Laura can tell you, I've emailed him several times, reminded him, I've called him on the phone, I've texted him, talked to him on the weekend, and he is completely 100% ignoring me at this point in regards to your documents. We haven't paid him a dime, I have emailed him saying that we don't intend to, and I haven't got a response to that either. I don't know, I don't know what else to do, because everything else I send them, they're all over it right away. It's just that, it's like he's completely ignoring us on that. And so I can't, in good conscience, advise you to stick with them, because, we've had some occasion to deal with a couple of the other attorneys, in his office, DJ and, oh God, I wanna say Jerry. I mean, they're dealing with this insurance thing for cluster one, they're dealing with the lawsuit for, you know, the one at your place there, Charlie, and, we've been very happy with others in the firm, but we can't get an answer on this, and that's a really big deal. So.
Do we need to, like, write a letter of disassociation on that particular part to protect ourselves?
You could, but I mean, to make it official, you'd have your attorney write it, so.
Okay.
I mean, I think, you know, if and when you decide to change to another, that's one of the first things we have them do.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.